Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing very, very well and that you are having a fantastic weekend. I have a pretty exciting video for you, but it has a huge stack of books attached, so I'm going to have to speak very, very fast. Couple of things. One, I want to show you this really cool gift that my husband got me for Christmas. I have my own library stamp. This will make sure that when I lend out books, maybe I'll get them back because I have a hard time sometimes finding who I gave them to. But I am super excited about that, and I am super excited about this video. So get started. Get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, because I'm about to give you a bunch of titles from early 2019 that I think you are going to want to read, and I am super excited to read. Now, this is in no way a definitive list of the titles I'm excited about in 2019. There are so many, and this video would be 2 days long. However, this is a good start to what you should be having on your radar, because they are on my radar for 2019, and so many amazing books and so many different types of books in this pile. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first book I want to tell you about is The Ruin of Kings by Jenn Lyons. This is out by Tor Books, and I think it comes out in February. It does. It comes out in February of 2019. I'm going to hold it like this. This is the advanced reader's copy, so it has a letter from the editor on it right there. Now, this is going to be, I think, the big epic fantasy book of 2019, and it comes out early, and we're all going to want to read all of them, and we're going to have to wait patiently for the series. The first book part of this starts with a letter from a historian to the ruling monarch. And basically, some event has occurred that has really destroyed the capital, I believe. And what has happened is it's falling, the blame is falling on a certain person. Now, as the person who is writing the letter has dug into it, and basically what the novel is a created history of how they've gotten to that event, he basically says that maybe we don't know the whole story, and maybe the person we're blaming for the event isn't the one who deserves to shoulder all the blame. I've read about 15 pages, but I plan on taking this on vacation, so it is sitting there patiently waiting for me. It is a bit of a chunkster, as you can tell. And so that's The Ruin of Kings by Jenn Lyons. This is out from Tor Books in February 2019. I'm going to go a little all over the place in 2019 just because I thought I had organized them and I didn't organize them in date order very well. The next book I'm going to tell you about is The Dreamers by Thompson Walker. This is out on January 15th, 2019 from our friends over at Random House. Now, Thompson Walker wrote a very fantastic debut novel called The Age of Miracles. So if you like books that are slightly dystopian, The Age of Miracles is about what happens to the world when it starts spinning a little bit slower and the days become longer and how that affects society. All told from the point of view, I want to say the main character is like 14 years old. It's been a while since I've read it. Now, that book is fantastic. The Dreamers is about something that occurs. So we have a woman who falls down and falls asleep, and then it becomes an epidemic. But all of these people who are falling asleep are dreaming at a really high level. Like their brains are functioning in this dream state. So it comes down to the question of what are they dreaming about and why is this happening? If this book is half as good as The Age of Miracles, it's going to be freaking fantastic, because The Age of Miracles was really good. And I am really excited for The Dreamers by Thompson Walker. Again, out January 15th, 2019 from our friends over at Random House Books. I should say real quick, thank you to all the publishers who send me these books early. I really appreciate it. And it just means that I get so excited about books that are coming out that I want to share them with you. Here we go with The Atlas of Red and Blues by Devi S. Laskar. This is out also in February 2019 from our friends over at Counterpoint. This is the story of a character named Mother. Her family are all Bengali immigrants, and basically they are moving from Atlanta proper to the outskirts of Atlanta, I believe, the suburbs, the wealthy suburbs of Atlanta. And it's how she starts to deal with that question, which we all know or have seen conversations where it's, where are you from? And the answer is Atlanta. But where are you really from? Now, I think that's going to be a fascinating premise for a book. Mother is protective of her family, per the sort of the blurb. The card that came from the publisher with this said that this book is beautiful and brutal, which, you know, just like speaks to me as a reader. So that's The Atlas of Reds and Blues by Devi S. Laskar, out by Counterpoint in February. You guys know. That sounds just like my kind of book, right? This book I don't probably have to talk a ton about, Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James, because it is probably the most famous book currently in this stack. Marlon James wrote the novel The Brief History of Seven Killings, that won the Man Booker a couple of years ago. This is the start, I believe, of his fantasy trilogy. This is the story of Tracker. Tracker is hired to, or chosen to, search for a lost boy, and then he gets into a group of people, and one of those people is a shape-shifting man-animal known as Leopard. And as they are searching for this boy, it's going to be an adventure. Now, I don't want to know a ton about this book because I have a feeling it's going to be very easy to be spoiled on this book because it's going to be talked about a lot. However, if you need a little bit more, check out Eric at Lonesome Reader's video. He just did a video on this book and the video is titled The Best Book of 2019 Already? I think. I didn't watch it because, again, I don't want to be spoiled, but you can probably trust Eric to give you a really good opinion as he's already read the entire book. So that's Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. Okay. The next book I hauled a little while ago, and I am super excited to read The Night Tiger by Yangsze Choo, and this is out from Flatiron Books, again in February, on February 12th, 2019. Gosh, that cover! This is the story of two different characters. We have Jilin, who is an apprentice dressmaker, and she works in a dance hall, and one night someone leaves a gruesome souvenir behind. And then we have Ren, who is it Ren? I should do Ren with an E. He's an 11-year-old houseboy whose master has passed away, and he is searching for a severed finger that he lost years ago that he needs to return to his master so his master's soul can be at peace. I have a feeling those two storylines are going to go like this. But this book is set in Malaysia, and I've heard nothing but great things about Ms. Choo as a writer, and I think this book sounds so good. And again, this cover, you guys, so beautiful, right? So that's The Night Tiger, out from Flatiron Books by Yangsze Choo, and this is out in February of next year. This book is actually going to be the book I think I read on my trip up, and I'm going to hold it up there. This is Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. Now, this is already out in the UK, but it comes out in January 8th, I believe. Yes, 2019 here in the US from FSG. And I want to say thank you very much for sending me this early copy. I am a huge fan of The Title Zone by Sarah Moss and cannot wait to get into this book. This book is sort of premised as a feminist fable, and I don't want to know a whole lot. All I know is I've read the first few pages, and in it, a woman is sort of being marched to, I want to say, I think she's about to be stoned, but something has happened, and she is being treated as a heretic, I want to say. Don't know much about it. Shouldn't say much more because I haven't read it, but Sarah Moss is an amazing writer. I've heard nothing but fabulous things about Ghost Wall, and so there you go. And it comes out in the US on January 8th, 2019 from FSG. And thank you for this amazing copy. Look at that cover, you guys. It's so beautiful. The next book I'm going to tell you about, I think, is going to be a huge book next year, and that's We Cast a Shadow by Maurice Carlos Ruffin. Now, this book is out by One World, and it is also out in February, and it is a racial satire, and we have a main character who is an attorney trying to make partner in a firm. He is African American, and it's really difficult because racism is rampant in this world, in our world, and he is saving up for a procedure that will change the skin color of his son. I don't need to know more than that because I think that this book is going to have like a really powerful political punch. It's going to say a lot. I think it got a star reviewed from the Publishers Weekly. I am really excited. I flipped through. I've actually sort of read bits and pieces all over. I'm going to be reading this really soon. I've been saving it to closer to the publication date. But I have a feeling you guys, we're going to be hearing about this book next year. And that's We Cast a Shadow by Maurice Carlos Ruffin. And that cover, oh, gorgeous. Okie dokie. The next book I'm going to tell you about is The Winter Sister by Megan Collins. This is out from Touchstone Books on February 5th, 2019. Now, this book is not in my normal wheelhouse. This is actually sort of a murder mystery book. But I will tell you, I started this book this morning, and within an hour I had read 70 pages. It's that good. This is a story of two sisters. We have Persephone, who at the very start of the book is found, her body is found and she has been murdered. And we have Sylvie. Is it Sylvie or Sylvia? I can't remember off the top of my head. You know when you just start reading a book? Sylvie. Now, Sylvie is the sister who survives. What happens is once Persephone is found dead, her mother becomes an alcoholic and a non-existent mother. And what we find is in the future, Sylvie's mother has been diagnosed with cancer of the esophagus and she is forced to return home. And her sister's murder was never solved. And at the hospital where her mother is being taken care of, her sister's boyfriend at the time of her murder is a nurse. And Sylvie has always thought that he is the one who killed her sister. The thing is, this book is not only sort of a murder mystery, this book is beautifully written. It has got some great language in it, but also is just like page-turning addiction. So it's really good. I cannot wait to see where it's going to go. It is the current book I'm reading right now, and that's The Winter Sister by Megan Collins. This is out February 5th, 2019 from Touchstone Books. Okay, this style of books is just getting huge. The nonfiction book that is in this list is The Collected Schizopherenias by Esme, Weijun, Wang. This is also out on February 5th from Grey Wolf Presses. This is a collection of nonfiction essays on Esme's diagnosis with schizoaffective disorder. I read the first essay, and Esme Weijun Wang can write. Just hands down can write. And she has a science background, so you sort of get that sense of knowledge behind the power of her emotion in all of this as well. I cannot wait. And this cover is just freaking gorgeous. So this is The Collected Schizopherenias by Esme Weijun Wang, and that's out from Grey Wolf Press, again, February 5th, 2019. Okay, a book that I'm not actually going to know much about when I get into it is Nothing But the Night by John Williams. This is out from New York Book Review of Books, also in February. And you know, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, that John Williams is one of my favorite writers. I've read all 3 of his other novels. I haven't read any of his poetry, but this is his first book, and it's getting a reissue. And it also has a sort of an interview discussion with his wife in it. I don't want to know much about this. I know that it's the story of a young man who drops out of college. I don't want to know much more. I'm not going to say much more because I don't know. But I will say John Williams is one of my favorite writers, and this is his first book. It's getting a reissue. This cover is freaking creepy, and I cannot wait to get to this. So thank you very much, New York Review of Books, for sending this to me. Okay, next on this list is If Then by Kate Hope Day. I have already read this book, and it comes out on March 12th, 2019. I'm going to talk way more about this in my review, but this book is posed as a sci-fi book. What happens is we have a list of main characters. They live in a small town in Oregon, and they start to sort of see glimpses of other realities and different ways their lives could have turned. That is the premise. But this book is really about relationships with family. What do you do if you have this sort of view into what could have been? What do you do with that? How do you take that? Some take it one way and change their life. Some people find new love. Some people reignite old passions. Some people don't handle it well at all. I think this is much more than just sort of a sci-fi book. This book is about people and choices and dynamics. I really, really liked this book. And so, yeah, really good. So this is If Then, and I also think this got a star review in Publisher Weekly. If Then, Kate Hope Day. It's really good, you guys. Out March 12th, 2019, and this is from Random House as well. Really good. Yeah, just finished it. Super good. Okay, next is probably, no, I can't say the most excited, but it is a book that I am really thrilled to finally get to. That's Women Talking, a novel by Miriam Toews. This is out from Bloomsbury, I believe. And Yes, Bloomsbury, and I'm not sure when it comes out. I want to say it comes out in February as well. Oh, April. April. We're all the way to April. Women Talking is the story of 8 women, but I'm going to read the back to you because I'm so excited. I know that I'm actually going to chop this up. It says, what if justice means turning your back on everything you've known? One evening, 8 Mennonite women climb into a hayloft to conduct a secret meeting. For the past 2 years, each of these women and more than 100 other girls in their colony have been repeatedly violated in the night by demons coming to punish them for their sins. Now that the women have learned that they are in fact drugged and attacked by a group of men from their own community, they are determined to protect themselves and their daughters from future harm. While the men of the colony are off in the city attempting to raise enough money to bail out the rapists and bring them home, these women, all illiterate, without any knowledge of the world outside their community, and unable even to speak the language of the country they live in, have very little time to make a choice. Should they stay in the only world they've ever known, or should they dare to escape? Enough? That book sounds amazing. Now, I want to say Sean the Book Maniac has already called this his favorite book he read this year. It was out in Canada already. I know Britta Bowler has already said that this book is freaking amazing. Everything about that sounds so good. This cover is fantastic. So that's Women Talking by Miriam Toews. This is out in April from Bloomsbury. She wrote All My Puny Sorrows. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So this book is high on my list of things to read as soon as possible. Okay, 3 more. Gosh, I told you this was a long list. Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. Now, I really just want to say that you should Google the quote from Alexander Chee, who just did a review of this book, because that will be enough to make you want to read it. This is the story of a couple, a Korean couple, Pak and Young Yu, who operate an oxygen chamber in their backyard in Miracle Creek, Virginia. And the oxygen tank is thought to have an effect on many different things. Some people use it for health. Some people think it cures diseases. Some people are using it for sort of meditation. One day it explodes. Someone, I think, is killed. I'm not even sure. Yes, someone is killed. And a trial goes on. There is a suspect. And so it takes place in a courtroom, but it's also a drama about the town of Miracle Creek. The cover is also fantastic. I think that it sounds super interesting. If you get a chance, I was going to try to read Alexander Chee's quote to you, but just find it. Google it and find it. I know that Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is out by Sarah Crichton Books, which is, I think, an imprint at FSG on April 16th, 2019. You guys, I think you're going to love this if you like those sort of courtroom drama / mystery / town books. You know what I mean. The next book I'm going to tell you about is also out from Counterpoint Books, and that's Prince of Monkeys by Nnamdi Ehirim, and I'm so saying that wrong, and I'm so sorry. This is a Nigerian novel. Now, again, quick read. Growing up in the middle-class Lagos, Nigeria, during the late 1980s and early 90s, Ichi forms a band of close friends discovering Lagos together as teenagers with differing opinions of everything from film to football. Fela Kuti is spirituality, sex, to politics. They remain close-knit until tragedy unfolds during an anti-government riot. So, exiled from Lagos by his concerned mother, Ichi moves in with his uncle's family, where he struggles to find himself outside his former circle of friends. He eventually finds success by leveraging his connection with a notorious prostitution linchpin and political heavyweight, earning favor among the ruling elite. But just as he is about to make his final ascent into the elite political class, he reunites with his childhood friends and experiences a crisis of conscience that forces him to question his world, his motives, and whom he should become. Now, this has the book in it, the little card in it from Counterpoint, and it says, "Hope we find you well." It says, "I'm thrilled that you're as excited as we are about this book. It's a provocative debut novel." I think it sounds so interesting. Nigeria has produced some amazing fiction lately. So this is Prince of Monkeys by Naomi Ehirim, and I'm sorry, let me hold that up for you guys. This is out in April 2019 as well. I think this is going to be another one you're going to want to get on your list. Last but not least is a book I'm not going to talk long about because I've already reviewed it on my channel, and that is Sally Rooney's Normy of People. This comes out in April in the US, already out in the UK, and this is out by Hogarth Books here in the US, and I want to say, read it. I read it. It is probably fighting for my favorite book that I have ever read. Sally Rooney is a brilliant author. This is the story of two people and their relationship. That's all you need to know. Every word is perfect. The story is brilliant, and yeah, it is amazing. So that was quite a stack of books. This was a long video. I hope that your Goodreads or your list or your paper is just exploding with books for your TBR. And as always, if you are a return subscriber, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, I hope you like what you saw, and I hope every single one of these books winds up on your TBR. As always, until next time, I wish you happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!